Dispatchville is a small town where everybody knows everybody else. It's famous for its efficient logistics and friendly people. At the heart of it all is Gary, the logistics manager. Gary is a bit of a legend in town, but what makes him really stand out are his pranks. Every year, his pranks get more creative and more hilarious. This year, Gary had a special prank planned for the annual Logistics Olympics. The Logistics Olympics is a big deal in Dispatchville. Teams from all over town come to compete. There are always different events like the package relay and the forklift challenge, but the main event is the Great Package Race. Teams have to navigate an obstacle course while carrying packages. It's always exciting, but Gary wanted to make it even better.
I spent weeks preparing for my prank. I ordered a bunch of silly items, inflatable unicorns, giant rubber ducks, and even some whoopee cushions. I replaced the real packages with these funny items and sealed them up. No one knew what was inside the packages except me. I couldn't wait to see the looks on their faces.
On the day of the event, Gary gathered everyone together. He explained the rules of the Great Package Race. Teams had to carry their package through the obstacle course without dropping it. But what he didn't tell them was that the packages were filled with funny surprises. The teams lined up, ready to race, and Gary gave the signal to start. The teams grabbed their packages and took off running. The first obstacle was a balance beam. Normally, it's easy to cross, but not with a giant rubber duck in your arms. The team started to realize something was different. They laughed as they unwrapped their packages and saw the silly items inside.
It's hard to stay serious with an inflatable unicorn staring at you.
The next obstacle was a tunnel. Teams had to crawl through while carrying their packages. This was tricky with an inflatable unicorn, which kept getting stuck. The teams were laughing so hard they could barely move. Some people had tears in their eyes from laughing so much. Gary watched from the sidelines, grinning from ear to ear.
One team had an especially hard time with the rubber ducks. Every time they tried to move, the duck would make a loud squeak. It was impossible to be sneaky with a squeaky duck in tow.
Other teams faced similar challenges with whoopee cushions making funny noises at every step. The race was turning into a comedy show.
This is the funniest logistics Olympics ever.
And that's exactly what Gary had hoped for. Comedic mishaps, Dave and the giant rubber duck. Dave was one of the best runners in Dispatchville. He was quick and agile, but today he was having a hard time.
My package contains a giant rubber duck. It's bigger than I am.
As he tried to run with it, the duck's head kept hitting him in the face. It was like wrestling with a slippery balloon.
Seriously, this duck has a mind of its own.
Dave's team was in stitches. Every time he tried to pass the duck to someone else, they would double over with laughter. They were supposed to be racing, but it was hard to focus. The rubber duck seemed to have a mind of its own. It bounced and squeaked, making everyone laugh even harder.
Oh no, I tripped.
At one point, Dave tripped and fell into a puddle, taking the rubber duck with him. The sight of Dave and the duck splashing around was too much. Even Gary had to wipe away tears of laughter. Despite the chaos, Dave managed to get back on his feet and keep going.
I'm not giving up.
The other teams were having similar struggles. People were tripping over whoopee cushions and getting tangled in inflatable unicorns. The obstacle course was a mess, but no one cared. They were all having too much fun. The laughter echoed across Dispatchville, and everyone knew this event would be remembered for years.
Come on, team, we can do this! Narrator, it was impossible to hold on to and kept slipping out of their hands. The team captain, Sarah, was determined to finish the race. She grabbed the floppy unicorn and wrapped it around her shoulder. Media, woman with unicorn cape, funny team building prop, people laughing at funny obstacle, playful office race with props. It's like carrying a giant piece of wet spaghetti. One team had an inflatable unicorn that was slowly deflating. As they ran, the unicorn kept getting smaller and smaller. By the time they reached the halfway point, it was just a floppy piece of plastic.
Go, Sarah, go! Narrator. The sight of Sarah running with the deflated unicorn flapping behind her was hilarious. The other teams cheered them on, laughing and clapping as they passed.
Another team had to navigate a rope swing while holding their package. Their package was filled with whoopee cushions, which kept making funny noises. They tried to swing across, but the whoopee cushions made it hard to hold on. They ended up falling into the mud, whoopee cushions and all. The crowd roared with laughter. Despite the challenges, everyone was having a great time. The spirit of teamwork and fun was alive and well. Gary watched with pride as his prank brought everyone closer together. It was exactly what he had hoped for. The silly items and funny obstacles made the race more enjoyable than ever. And the tradition of the prank. At the end of the race, one team emerged victorious. They had managed to navigate the obstacles and keep their package intact. Their prize? A golden rubber duck trophy. They held it high, laughing and cheering. It was a fitting end to a hilarious race.
And the winners are... Congratulations, here is your golden rubber duck trophy.
The winning team posed for pictures with their trophy, everyone smiling and laughing. Gary stepped up to the microphone to announce the prank's success.
Thank you all for being such good sports and making the event so fun.
The crowd cheered for Gary, grateful for his sense of humor and creativity. They all agreed that the Great Package Race should become a yearly tradition. The day ended with a huge picnic in the park. People shared stories of their funniest moments from the race. Laughter filled the air as everyone enjoyed the food and each other's company. Gary's prank had brought everyone closer together, and Dispatchville felt more like a family than ever. From that day on, the Great Package Race became a beloved tradition in Dispatchville. Each year, Gary came up with new and funnier pranks. The event reminded everyone that work could be fun, and that laughter was the best way to bring people together. And so, the legend of Gary and his hilarious pranks lived on, bringing joy to Dispatchville year after year.